think we're live.
I think the people can see what I see. I'm gonna... Yo, what up?
See what we see?
There's Tyler.
That's me.
There's Kirran.
Hi.
Yo! If I flip this whole camera around, it's me. I'm gonna do my best to... The sun is out now, so I'm gonna have to avoid people's license plates, I think. I don't know if that's a...
I don't think that's a thing you have to worry about in vlogs.
Is that not a thing?
As long as you're not being malicious about it, not...
I feel like license plates are always blurred on TV, and I don't know why they do that. Is there...
They do that for protection, but I don't think you have to... I see them on like actual live action videos on YouTube, so I don't think it's a thing that you have to do.
Okay.
But
man,
just don't make it a part of the shot that you want.
I know. Have any of you guys ever messed with like radio stuff, like shortwave radio things, where you can put out signals like that? Because I remember being, I was a kid, so maybe this was why, but I remember it being reinforced very heavily in me that it was like, yo, they'll get mad at you if you're just going on here making prank calls, so don't do that. And
shortwave radio?
Yeah, like if you. Like usually like truckers and stuff and things like that.
Oh,
like they use it to communicate.
I had no access to anything like that.
I know a friend of mine, his dad had like a trailer or something that he could communicate with truckers and stuff with for stops. And I remember hanging out and being like, I want to play with that radio. And it was bad news.
My uncle used to work on like detailing cop cars and fire trucks and stuff like that. And he's a fun guy. So whenever he just has them at his house, because that's where he works on them, he's like on top of the fire truck with the speaker and everything, yelling at his friend. And then come to find out, it's not just a speaker that goes to the radio.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So him screaming obscenities at his neighbor and everything, then getting, Mike, is that you? Back, and putting it down, and going to your house.
Whoops, the call was coming. Thank you so much, Sonosuke DA and my D101 for those resubs for Road Trippin' Boys. Celebrating and loving the Road Trip Boys.
Sonosuke. What anime is that?
Kenshin.
Okay, thank you. Is that the boy? The little
No,
boy?
he's got the big sword.
Oh, okay. I got really mad that we never really saw that big sword again, right? He's the guy with the open shirt.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was such a cool thing. He's just some badass who carries around this giant cinder block because he can. And then it's like, nah, I'm good. I'll just fight with my... I still have bat on my back, so you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
If that's what I remember.
I don't remember.
That's like the only Ramoni Kenshin thing I remember.
Ramoni Kenshin is a new dish that... I don't know what Ramoni would be.
Is Ramoni kinship the thing that you have whenever you...
Friends you made along the samurai way?
Yes.
Along the way of the samurai?
I'm really gonna miss these gray skies that are just...
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Cement.
Yeah, the sky being way more overcast and stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, weather talk, you fucking know it's a road trip. That's the shit that goes down the clouds and shit, man.
I had to go to this camera store with Stefan the other day, and I realized that something I really like about driving in other places that we don't have here at all nearly in Dallas is highways that are kind of lower. Everything here in Dallas is above everything. So we don't have just the two ways and then a wall on each side. There's only a small bit of that, and we'll see it, and I'll point it out. I'll interrupt everything we're fucking doing to show you.
Cool.
But I think it's so cool, and Houston is only that.
Yeah.
I've barely driven to different places around here, so I really don't know the cartography and geography of places nearby.
I don't think I've ever heard cartography. What is that?
Map stuff.
Oh, okay.
No one maps.
All the maps I had to draw in middle school. Built full for not knowing the word.
Shadow Force 56 with the Prime sub saying we need to get food on the way. Are you guys hungry at all?
Not really. I just had ramen with my friend Tristan. She came up and showed off that light for us. I will probably be hungry at the end of our plans.
Cool. Kirran, you down for food?
Yeah, Are you hungry now?
You wanna get
we,
food?
We can wait.
No, I'm good just getting some because I'm gonna drink because I am thirsty. Are you hungry, Grant?
I could definitely eat.
All right.
I turned down
Where we want to go?
grabbing lunch earlier. Well, Burger King has ruined us twice in a row.
Yes, they've scorned my love.
They've become. I don't know if we can trust them. I don't know
I'm
if they've.
against the.
They're not putting the numbers on the board, and I don't know if we can trust them anymore.
Fight the royalty.
Well, then what's the opposite of? Is there a Dairy
There's
Queen?
a Liberty Burger. Is that the opposite of Burger King?
Okay, yeah. Are we going opposite of a monarchy or opposite of a king? Or opposite of a burger? Who even knows?
Oh, I need some chili. I keep resting my tattoo on stuff because I don't feel it.
Oh yeah, you got a new tattoo. I don't know if we've shown that.
Probably not. I don't think I show off any of my tattoos.
Oh, the light in here is terrible.
Yeah, I bet it is. Is that better?
You still can't really see it.
Cool.
Trust me, there's an X on his middle finger. He's not just flicking us off.
I mean, I can be. I got the X that Xemnas gives Roxas in naming him, and then a Mickey head, so it's just a lucky emblem. I know it's stupid, but I love it so much.
Mickey's
That stuff was
fun.
really cool.
Yeah. I realized in the last fight in Kingdom Hearts, one of those games that spoils.
Yeah.
It has like a simplified version of the goat head on the floor. The last Xehanort fight.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
If you look at the floor, it's whenever he has you turned into whatever. It has this simplified goat head from the Keyblade, and I thought that was really cool. So I'm thinking about getting that here.
So I can see it?
I'm fine with whatever.
So I'm thinking about getting that here, and then I don't know what to do here because I'm just trying to have it themed. I just want to have 2 Kingdom Hearts tattoos there, maybe. Because right now it's a bunch of dumb lantern rings.
Rough. Like they seem like they would hurt a lot.
Not really. Actually, the end of your finger right here really fucking hurts. But I don't feel it now, and I got this Monday. You do have to get them done over a lot more, like every few years, because they fade. Because like, look at the difference between those two.
Do you know off the top of your head how many tattoos you have? Do you have to count them, or do you? Apparently, with
tattoos or settings? Because I have that one Silent Hill piece that is like considered one tattoo, but I've gone in there like 7 times and had things added to it.
You know, I guess I really hadn't thought that question through.
In general, I think I've been in a tattoo chair over 30 times.
Okay.
Because I've had multiple tattoos worked on or done over.
If someone said, okay, we're just going to say that there's an online form for some survey you're taking. You're taking the census, and President Uncle Sam Trump wants to know how many tattoos you have, and there's just a number field. What do you put in?
1.
You are one giant living tattoo?
I would assume it has something to do with taxes, and I'd put 1.
Okay, all right.
Because it's going to be a yes or no, it's good or bad, and I just need to be honest that I have one. I'll just be like, it's been a minute since I filled out that form. Because honestly, I have a 2.8 tattooed on at the end of my finger. Do you count the 2, the point, and the 8 as 3 different tattoos? And the aperture above it, is that a different tattoo? Even though I got all 4 of those things done at the same time?
But they're all the same subject?
Yes. If I got, like, do you count all of my fingers different tattoos even though I got them all done at the same time?
Yes.
But do you count the things, the 2.8 and the aperture being different tattoos, even though those are the same subject?
How close are they?
On my finger.
It
It looks really bad, because I didn't take care of it well.
I would say those are 2 separate tattoos.
Okay.
How many tattoos does Tyler Coy have?
Okay, then. Okay, is the X and the Mickey emblem?
Yes, those are 2 different tattoos.
So we got 4 down here. We got 1, 2, 3, so that's 7. Laughing Man 8. Beelzebub mark, 9. I got a Gengar here, 10. I have the nobody symbol real big here. I have a tattoo I'm going to get done over here. I have Venom here. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, I have Loki. I have a Loki here.
Singed into his skin and he's already forgotten.
Well, it's my least favorite tattoo.
Oh.
Because they fucked it up. They added all these dots while I was watching a movie while they were getting it done, and they added these dots being like, it looks like power-ups. You didn't ask me. Thanks. And it's on my body. I can't just... I got that. I have a bunch of Silent Hill Homecoming monsters on my left leg. I have classic cartoon Beetlejuice with his head detached on a balloon on my right leg. And I have another tattoo on my chest. And then I have the Sleepy Cabin logo on my ear. And that's it. I stopped counting.
So there
Chat,
you have
how many tattoos?
A lot of tattoos.
Okay, but the Silent Hill one,
Yeah,
I
how
got.
many Silent Hill ones would you say you have?
Okay, so I got Pyramid Head and a nurse done at the same time.
Okay.
I had a lurker added, and then I had asphyxiation added.
Is that like a boss or something? I don't know the names of the monsters.
Yeah, that's a boss. They're all like either bosses or just a monster. I can't remember.
I remember Pyramid Head.
I suck because I have these on my body and I don't remember their name. I have Swarm.
Well, hey, you know what? You also probably look at it the least.
Yeah, because it's on my leg and I wear pants covering them up. I have Swarm, which is just a bug. So I just got like a beetle in between like the legs and the arm of Pyramid Head and the nurse, I think. I have the shark face thing that's like split in half too from Homecoming.
Did you think a lot before you got your first tattoo? Like your first one, were you like agonizing over it?
But
were you
it's
like,
also,
I'm not sure? And did it just get easier after that, or?
It got easier after my second tattoo.
Okay.
Because I quit my job where I worked because I got the second tattoo and thought they were gonna fire me.
Okay.
And then I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna get tattoos and it'd be whatever. And then the place I worked at after is actually a place we're going here in a minute, which is a tattoo parlor.
Ooh. I've never been like super interested in getting tattoos for myself. I think it was just part of an aesthetic growing up that I just never really saw, so I'm just not super into it. But I think they look cool on other people, and I'm always curious about stories and like where they came from and their meaning and stuff. So you having a ton, I'm just very curious, like, well, how did it start? What made you go, man, I like tattoos, and then you just kept getting them?
I will say that I think the worst thing that I have tattooed, like as just, it feels kind of fake to other people, but I put my own representation on it, was, or no, I guess not my own representation, just the lantern rings. Like, I'm not a Green Lantern fan, but I just like the symbols and the representation behind them. So I got them tattooed.
Was that the
lantern rings? Like
was that the
these.
first thing, or was that
No,
just, okay? Oh, that's just the one you feel fake.
Yeah, very
because
fake
they're not
about.
big.
Because people go, those the lantern rings, and I'm like, yeah.
Like, yes, they are. Don't they look cool? Don't ask me about Green Lantern.
When I got them, I also forgot people were.
We're super into Green Lantern.
I forgot that it was something that other people would see, honestly. It was more, I'm doing this for me. This is mine. And I forgot it would just be something that somebody would be defensive about, like, me not knowing anything about and having something on my body now.
Okay.
Which I totally understand, but I didn't put any thought into it.
What was your first one?
Was there a fair? Sorry, what was my first one?
Yeah. And if there was like you made it sound like you did have to kind of go back and forth when you decided to do it. What was the deciding
I didn't.
factor?
The first tattoo I wanted was like, this is a character that has this tattoo, and I want it, and I hate it now because I really hate the series. I have Natsu's fairy tale tattoo, and I'm just gonna get One Piece is better over it because it's just bad One Piece. But I didn't read One Piece at the time.
But now you know.
Yeah.
Now you've realized.
And I hate it. I hate Fairy Tail. It's not good. And I can't wear sleeveless shirts.
You can't let people see that
No.
and start talking to you about Fairy Tail.
But it's like just a big red weird shape, and I'm just gonna put like little text over it in black to say that I get it. One Piece is good, or something.
Karen, I know you've mentioned getting
Fairy Tail's
tattoos
bad.
before. Have you thought about it anymore? I know at some point you'd said a Dragon Ball, and then other times you've said Gundam stuff. Has there been anything that you were like specifically this would be the one?
Not really.
Are you still down to get our tattoos?
Maybe.
Can we talk about that? I don't think it's like a secret or anything.
No, you can.
So me, Kirran, and Grant. Grant's afraid of needles.
I'm a yellow baby on this one. I'll be a coward.
I'll like Kaiji. Does it have a longer name than that?
No.
Gambling pariah.
Kaiji, and like often in the show when things are tense, it's just an onomatopoeia for anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Zawa, and it's always comes in 3, like Zawa, Zawa, Zawa. And I want to get that tattooed behind my ear. I don't know if you ever said where you wanted to put yours, but I thought that was really cool, and just I don't have to have much to put on my body. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I do think that's a fun idea though. Like even though I think I'm too much of a baby to do it myself, I do think it's a cool concept, and for a tattoo, I would be like, that's so sick. So I would be in support of it.
The crest that's on Killer Queen's hand, I'm getting tattooed on my left hand.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find somebody to do enough like small detail work in that, and I'm trying to get the design all the way that I want it. But yeah, I really like tattoos, especially if I feel like I'm copying it from something else. Like, I already like to snap my fingers a lot, so once I get that fucking crest on my hand, I'm gonna be like, I'm blowing stuff up.
Ah.
Did you ever do that? Were you ever like a really big Full Metal Alchemist fan, so you just touch things? This is while you're walking down the halls as a kid in elementary school, because I definitely didn't.
So I never had like my ears pierced or anything, but there's a sequence when 17 is fighting Piccolo, and for no reason at all, he like flicks his earring like before he fucking goes in and does some attack, and I thought that was like the coolest pre-action move to just sort of like flick your earlobe and then do something. So I know I did that at least once or twice, and that's way worse than clapping or snapping. So I have no leg to stand on. But I was not a Full Metal Alchemist kid who snapped, no.
What was some embarrassing, like, nerd stuff that you did
Oh, man.
very openly? Like, I definitely shot Kamehameha beams with my friend in, like, 1st and 2nd grade.
Did you guys play with action figures and make sound effects for them?
Yeah.
All right. What was your favorite sound effect to make? Like, what was one that you know you did a lot?
Like, bones crumbling inward.
Please make the sound for me.
I don't know. I can't think of it now.
Oh, man. I know for me, I really loved kind of like
It's very crunchy.
kind of like for a multiple like explosions all at once. I like to kind of do like the like rolling my R's, but making a like that sound was always what I would do whenever I was like having Goku or Vegeta shoot like a million blasts. That was my sound effect for them doing that. Just be like as they're coming in.
Did you always have your toys play together?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Having action figures is just to do a bunch of crossovers. Like that's why you get them.
I wasn't a super big fan of the movie, but I had all the small soldier toys. Like
Okay.
almost every fucking one of them, and I loved their designs.
They did have really cool designs.
I had
The monster guys in particular, the soldier guys.
whoever the
some of
big,
them were-
yeah. Oh, I didn't have any of the. I did have those ones. I barely played with them, but the ones I did have were like the damaged ones that their arms and legs can blow off,
Oh,
and they have like rips. It's like everybody from the end of the movie. I think I had the Gorgonites or whatever. Gorgonites. The same thing. Because I would have the chief guy, but he'd have, like, the beast guy's arms. But whoever the big fat one for the Gorgonites was, who had, like, a flat, kind of, like, elephant paw thing going on.
I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I had his toy, and it was my favorite toy forever. Just because it was like, this is my brawler. This is the tank. And for some reason, he would never, like, I would have these tournaments, these Tenkaichis I would have go on, where
number one under the sun.
He's not number one. He is the guard to the all-powerful emperor who's putting this on, who I can't think of who that was. I don't know what toy I used for that.
I'm trying to think of different characters who I had intermingled with DBZ, and they were like, I made them infamously strong in my headcanon. I knew I had a Mega Man action figure, and he wasn't exactly like physically strong, like he wasn't a martial artist, but his buster shot beams that could overpower Goku's strongest Kamehameha. So he was just like, he was their long range dude. He was just shooting the most wild beams, but if he got up close in a fight, he was done.
What toy were you most excited to take with you to the bath just to have a water scenario for that character?
I frequently turned my bath or shower into a water Pokemon gym, and it was just, all right, I'm going to pretend I'm a trainer fighting Pokemon in here, and I bring in 6 Pokemon for me and 6 for the gym leader that are all water types, and I have to fight them.
Gotcha. I was proud of my, like, Dragon Ball characters just because up here and then now in the water, and all that water splashing up just really gives the weight of their movement.
I would bring, I had the Falcon Zord that the White Ranger had in the movie, I think? Something?
I wouldn't know.
I can't remember. But it was the bird one, though, and I would always take it in the swimming pool and do, like, Star Fox missions with it. I would, like, hold it in front of me as if it was, like, in a camera video game position and just kind of steer it around that way as I swam around, and I thought that was really fun in the pool.
I miss playing with toys in the dirt. I'm going to be very straight about that. I miss being able to play with toys. Relax.
There was...
Watching Billy and Mandy up on the screen right here with my Legos.
Good times.
Okay.
I didn't play with, like, toys in the dirt a ton, but there was, like, this in the yard we could go to recess at school. There was, like, a tree with or a group of trees with, like, a really elaborate kind of root system that there was just a bunch of dirt and dust and just kind of, we always called it sand, but knowing now that it's definitely not what it was just dirt. But we would go there, and there were always ants everywhere because this dirt made it really easy for ants to make, like, anthills and stuff out of it. So we would basically play a game where we were just these giants intermingling with this ant civilization, normally in a very violent way because we were kids and we loved stepping on things that were smaller than us. But I remember just getting so fucking just dirt everywhere, and I remember I can still see it in my mind's eye, but I definitely remember throwing dirt at one of my friends, and she wore glasses, and just dirt just being caked on her glasses when we were coming back from recess. It's just, how can you see anything through those? I can't see your eyes. But it was a good time. But now that I think about it, I'm like, man, that was really gross. And I didn't wash my hands after recess. I went right back to school, and I was playing in dirt and with bugs the whole time.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. I put my fingers in my mouth and chewed my nails just like I do to this day.
Did your school have sinks in the classrooms? Not just science.
I was gonna say classrooms that were like dedicated science ones or something. Like once we got older, they did. But most of the time, no, I don't think.
Okay, because Asher's elementary school has sinks and stuff in the kindergarten area. I don't know if the classrooms do, but I thought that was weird.
I mean, I guess I could see it for like cleaning up messes and stuff for younger kids. It's nice to just have a source for running water really fast.
I guess. I keep seeing these Title Boxing Club places open up. Like there's one in McKinney now. Mm-hmm. I've really wanted to just like go hit a, like actually just go hit a, I don't know what they're fucking called.
Punching bag?
Punching bag.
Punching bag?
Just for fun. And I feel like anywhere that it's, I feel like that's always, someone's watching that.
Just any gym, I feel like?
Yeah, but I feel like once you go up to that, you're supposed to be really performing on it. Instead of just
everybody's got
going.
to start somewhere.
I guess, but I don't know. I also just hate going to the gym and using any equipment because I feel like immediately people are looking at me.
That's why I just have a stationary bike at home. Yeah. Because I feel the same. And it's totally stupid. I fully am willing to admit that it is a senseless phobia, really.
Yeah.
But it has kept me out of a gym my whole life.
I feel like if gyms didn't have mirrors on the wall,
you'd go more?
Yes, and I feel like just being able to see, like, because a lot of places where I go in my gym, I am behind everybody, which I would normally be super great with, but you can't really look in any direction without having a mirror there and seeing people's faces.
Yeah.
And just knowing that they... not seeing their faces dehumanizes them to me.
You need to know there's not other people.
Yeah, exactly. That dude's just... Fun thing, we're coming up on this store called the Casket Store over here. I don't know if you can show it. But there used to be right next to it boxes to go.
Oh, so there's just a casket place and also a shipping place just right next to each other?
Yes.
I wonder if they had to move at some point. If something happened where they were just like, well, we can never bounce back from
Well, if
this.
you come over here, we can make you a casket out of cardboard boxes. I went to a specialty FedEx store the other day to send out my camera bag, and they had to craft a box for me because my bag, the rolling arm thing, got stuck, so it couldn't come down. So we had to craft a box just for the right size of it, and it was so cool because you would just get these pre-existing boxes and cut them and then just shape it around, measure it, cut it to make it look way neater, and then put my shit in there.
That sounds like a good idea. Sounds fun. I want to figure out, you gave me the kind of like smaller shelves for my apartment. I think I'm actually going to bring them into the office maybe, because there's nowhere in my walls that I want to put them, and I feel like I would rather display stuff at the office instead, the more I think about it.
Are they like the shelves that I have in the back room?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Oh no! I got you those are to display.
Those are for books, I
yes.
think. Because you had gotten it after I had gotten the Kingdom Hearts concert book thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have that somewhere. But I think I'll just bring those into the office so we can put them somewhere in there.
Yeah, we can display that Dark Souls book.
Yeah.
And then I think about it, out on the bookshelf in the common area, we have the art book too, where we can just display a bunch of Dark Souls stuff. What if you had to make, if you got funding just to build your own apartment complex, what would be your name? Like second home, there's the Mark.
Okay, so what would the name of my apartment complex be?
Like Loft 2.
Oh man, I'd want to make a dumb pun out of it. But I can't think. I feel like everything always has like all the nicer places tend to have something about their location in it. Like there's usually like creek or fountain or plaza or.
I feel like that's a very 90s naming scheme.
Okay.
For places, or not 90s, but earlier.
Kind of an outdated thing.
Yes,
the more
because
trendy
everything's
thing is to give it a cool
like
title.
lake, fountain, something.
Yeah. All right. Then my apartment complex would just be The sign would just say, "Why don't you live here yet?" And that's just what it's called. I live on Why Don't You Live Here Yet? Over there on Liberty. That's a made-up street name, right? That sounds like a place. And that's where Why Don't You Live Here Yet lives. And you could too. If you also lived here, you'd be here. That's the second. That's what we're calling the expansion.
So where do you live here? Sorry. Where do you? I'm dying. So where do you live? Why don't you live here yet?
What? Yeah,
Okay.
You always answer their question with another question.
I have to put something on the form, though. Where do you live?
That, or I would just call the place Free Internet. We do not offer free internet. That's just the name of the apartment complex. I live on free internet.
I like that.
Or utilities included.
That's... Isn't there like a clothing store called Box or something? I want to go in there and just ask for boxes.
I'm positive that shit
People.
exists.
Yeah.
There's no way it doesn't.
I got really mad the other day. I was in the mall in Frisco, and they had a new store coming, and I was like, I wonder what it's called. It's called All the Feels.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
What's...
It's like a clothing store, I think.
Okay.
Like, there's not that many names that exist anymore, I get it.
You
But,
can only call things so many things.
yeah. Stop taking our dumb internet stuff, one. And two, don't take the dumbest internet stuff if you are.
No, that's very bottom of the barrel, reaching down, scooping up that last little scrape of the old internet, them delicious, that online jokery. All the feels is definitely kind of the basement on that one.
Have you guys ever been to a Top Golf or anything like that? An indoor golfing place?
Not an indoor golfing place, no. A family friend back in Ohio had like a virtual golfing thing that I did once, though.
Is that it has like a pad thing on a wall that you hit it towards?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's... Honestly, he started this business kind of not super long after the Wii happened, and I was like, man, Wii golfing is just this, but I can do it at home. So it was basically just that. It was kind of just like there were motion sensors, and you did like a golf swing, and there was just a big screen in front of you that just simulated, yo, here goes your ball. Oh, man, you got a hole in 3. Birdie. Who came up with the dumb golf lingo?
I don't know, but I think that's fun, because once you make your own thing and everyone's like, that seems great, then you get to make up the names.
So you want to invent a great game, not so you can have a good game, but just so you can name its mechanics, dumb stuff?
I think I need to throw enough money at Kirran that to help with his game, that I get to name one aspect of it.
Alright.
I don't know.
What are some how can I word this to... What would you name a mechanic? Like, what's something that you are aware of, let's say in Monster Hunter, that you would rename in a fun way? Alright,
Capturing a monster.
We're making Monster Hunter World 2, but everyone has turned against the term palico.
No, man, it's gonna be, you can't capture a monster, you have to snuggie it or something.
Okay, alright.
And then I have a partnership.
The snuggie monsters?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't cook anymore. What are you doing? There's no more cooking in Monster Hunter. Instead, you...
Looks like the other team got a point. I dropped it. I didn't go in hard enough to the ball.
Okay, Tyler Cole, you're the new creative lead. Capcom has hired you It's all up to you. We're failing. Street Fighter V is setting fires in the street. Everybody hates Capcom. The angry internet is here to tear down our building. We're all going to die
Young passion.
unless someone in this building comes up with a new name for the Twin Blades in Monster Hunter World 2.
It's youth passion.
All right, cool. We're gonna push forward with the youth passion builds, and we're gonna see if people are more into Monster Hunter now with this new creative lead. Thank you so much. I'm already seeing the angry mobs die down. It's great. We're gonna be fine. Mega Man X can live again. It's gonna be all right. Capcom will stand.
Okay, real quick. That dumb shit's done. That was great. Can't believe it. How do you feel about buildings not being angled with the road?
I think they can look cool. I think they can set apart your skyline.
Yeah.
Make your horizons look prettier.
Because I feel like this is one of the only places that I don't see it. Because I feel like everything is, a wall is alongside the road. But these buildings here are facing out like this. And I think I'm not sure at all, but I think those two were there before the highway was finished.
I don't know. I do love when buildings look like this, where it's just like all reflective windows. Like I always think that looks cool.
You really don't see that anymore.
Yeah, like I feel like that is an older aesthetic that things don't do very
Like
often.
these are very old buildings. This building's almost done. You can tell the just drastic difference.
But yeah, I think buildings that look like that are cool. Have you ever been like in a super tall building, like at the top of it and like look down?
Yes,
Okay.
I've cried.
Towers
Towers of America.
The Nationwide building in Columbus. My grandma used to work there, and we took the elevator to the top floor, and it was scary. I was 10.
Actually, you know what? There's a big dumb tower in Kings Island, isn't there?
The Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
The fake one.
I've been atop of that, and I think I was like 5, and I wanted to scream.
It's a real tall tower. That would be a scary one to be on.
That's like the only thing I remember about that.
I remember there being a bunch of bees up there. Also, man, funny story. I left my phone at the office.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Well, hey, do you want to use mine real quick and just tell anybody that if they need you to contact you via that, like, hit me up on Discord?
I mean, I guess I'll post that.
People should know that we're streaming, but
Yeah.
shit happens. So what did you guys want to get to eat?
Oh yeah, forgot about that. I don't know what's around here.
I could get off right now and get Chick-fil-A.
I'm okay with that. Is that the opposite of Burger King?
Does the king believe in religion?
Is he a God-fearing monarch?
He slays.
Take a look at that Burger King, just the fucking mascot, the king, who that thing doesn't believe in God. I've seen that king creep around and do some unholy shit.
I want to see.
So I'm gonna say that, yeah, probably the Chick-fil-A stuff would be the opposite.
I want to see somebody use the Burger King face as a jump-off point for like making a Kafka cosplay. Like they have to incorporate that face. They can build on it with clay and stuff and like reshape and design it, but I want the general features of the face to still be there. You know?
Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, never mind. I do have my phone. Because I was like, wait, I sent a message after we started. I know I have it. I just couldn't find it before.
Okay. So here we have a McDonald's, I think a Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out.
Let's do Whataburger, actually. I've done that forever.
Are you down for Whataburger, Kirran?
Yeah.
we got caught up in the fun of these streams and forgot that we kind of schedule these when rush hour is.
Hey, man, it just gives us more time to talk. Gives us more topics to do.
Yeah.
Or, you know, flags and shit.
Flags
I
and
don't know.
shit.
I'm looking at stuff and trying to think of things that I don't think about with just like daily objects. Because I think that's where I find the most fascinating conversations. And now I'm just getting into the meta level of what kind of talking I think is fun. I don't know. What kind of conversations do you like really dig having with people? Like, is
in your car specifically?
Yeah. Like, are
the
there
mindless
just like
convos?
like what is just like a fun conversation? Like, I don't know. If you're at a party, say, what's something someone can say to you that you will immediately start talking back? That you'll be like, all right, yeah, I'm in. Like, is there any sort of icebreaker or something you've heard that you're like, yeah, cool, let's go.
This place sucks. I feel like I can always just respond to.
You can always come back to someone not liking where they are?
No, even if it's like I'm having fun, just I can respond to that. Is that what you're saying? Like I can respond to that and then have the conversation from there?
Yes.
Okay. Or are you asking for topics?
I mean, kinda. I don't really know. It's been a long ass time since I've been to a party and you've invited me to parties. I'm trying to think of how I started conversations at parties with people I didn't know.
I have such a different energy about me when I go to cons and parties.
Yeah?
That I feel like I have just a second mind about it. I can't think of anything I do. I hate the lights here. They're the worst.
It's a lot of starting stuff. I feel like, I don't know, conversations with me I'm terrible at starting them, but I am good at letting them snowball and extending them. I feel like I am terrible at starting a talk with someone in a dedicated social environment. I know we talked about earlier with school how all of us fucking talk too much in class, but I feel like it's because there it wasn't a social expectation. That made it less stressful.
Do you feel that you have that the more prep time to start a conversation, the worst?
Yes. If I have to think about a conversation before it happens,
yes,
it's going to be much more stilted and weird and manufactured. Whereas if I am just going in and I just have to respond, I can do that much easier.
I always feel like I have to have a reason that I have to start talking to somebody.
I have noticed though lately that conflict makes me way less comfortable or way more uncomfortable than it used to. Because I feel like before it didn't bother me as much, but now even if it's not something that involves me, but if I hear two people arguing and like actually upset over something and not like in a fun way, I immediately start looking for a way to leave, like just instantly. It is just like it is a reaction, a subconscious thing where I don't notice until I'm out of the room that I'm like, man, I just bolted out of there and I didn't really have anywhere to go. And then I realized that, oh wait, two people were kind of getting mad at each other, and so I was just like, I don't want to hear this or be around it.
I have a really hard time with... I have a lot of friends who hate each other.
Okay.
And I have a really hard time with them being like, well, this person's shitty, and then it's like, well, I still really like that person, then the same person does that, and it's like, well, I hate being there.
No, you hate being the middle guy.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And... one second.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the middle of driving. You can focus.
So in situations like that, often it's people I know who are fighting, so I will just book out of the room so I don't get pulled into a side.
Okay. So you leave because you don't want to be pulled in as part of the fight.
Yes.
And you don't want to have Okay, no, that makes sense.
Then the same reason for you, it's just awkward.
Yeah.
And it's just immediately makes a room uncomfortable.
Were you ever the kind of person who had like 2 separate friend groups and you tried to pull them together?
I have several different friend groups that I feel like I act different around just because they give off different energy, and I fear for mixing them.
Okay.
Like, I had Monique and Shay come to the holiday party we had, and I was terrified.
I feel like when I was younger, I was way more into trying to mix friend groups together and be like, man, I like this person and I like this person. I should get both of them in the room and hang out with both of them. But over time, I started realizing that I'm kind of the same way, and it's not even so much that it's like I'm fake in front of these people and this is the real person. It's more like I feel like it's a room reading thing where it's just I interact with people more based on how they interact than I need to put off this impression. It is like getting along with them is easier if I'm acting this way, and if I have to bring in 2 conflicting people that require kind of 2 different ways to act to just be like to maximize fun time, I can see that being a stressful mix and pot.
That's a really good way to look at that, because I always just thought the idea that I act different around people, and then just realizing I'm acting different around different people, and that might seem real shitty if somebody like just points that out. Hey, that's the other Fast and Furious.
But I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't think it's necessarily wrong in any way to act different around different people, because people respond to different things differently. So it's not about you not being you. It's just you knowing how to be agreeable in a group, I guess. It's not that you are pretending you are not the person you are. It's just you're like, if I am talking about this kind of stuff around this person, they're not into it, so they don't care. So I'm not going to act like that's something I'm super about.
Chat, what do you normally get from Whataburger? Let me take that for a bit. You've been holding it a long time.
I can keep holding it.
Yeah. I see your arm shaking. I keep putting shit on him and then taking it off. What did I... What's my code?
Quite a bit of the chat has never had Whataburger before, it seems.
Well, that kind of sucks. I'll get that when we get somewhere else, eventually. How are you? What's the chat doing? What's the chat saying?
They got dank shakes. Whataburger's a Texas thing. I thought we were going to Chick-fil-A. There is no Whataburger in New York. That kind of stuff.
I know it's not just a Texas thing, because they have them... Is that other state? They have them in other states.
I've only had... Wait, no. Did they have them... Whataburger was in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I feel like I went to it somewhere else and I couldn't remember where. And I think you actually took me there when I visited you. So I'm pretty sure that's where I've had it other than here.
Where all have you lived, Kirran? Because
I'm not here.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of anywhere else I've seen them at. They weren't in California when we were there, right?
No, I don't think so. What's her name who does all the Dragon Ball stuff with I can't remember. Living Ichigo. The girl who had the Frieza onesie when we were leaving AX. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
She told me that they have it wherever she lives, and I don't think it's Florida. That's how we got the long thing.
Boom.
Yeah.
We took a bit of a path, but we got there.
Yeah. I like a lot of her cosplay. I'm gonna look her up. I know her username or whatever. I just don't know how to read aloud. I like a lot of her stuff. She does like mainly just Dragon Ball cosplays. Are there any cosplayers that you guys keep up with? Because I feel like I mentioned cosplay a lot, and you guys are just like, yeah.
I always think cosplay is like a neat thing, but there aren't any cosplayers who I really follow at all. It's just whenever someone's like, hey, look, here's this cool costume of this thing that you are aware of, I'll check it out and normally go, it's really cool.
It's really epic. Apparently the H3 guys were furries on their new podcast episode or whatever. Look at this.
Huh. I like the H3 stuff, but I do not follow it like regularly. Like I kind of check in every now and then. There are very few things that I am like day and date with, like always watching stuff.
What is her username?
Naomi Moon.
Okay. Naomi Moon. There's a bunch of Dragon Ball and a lot of other stuff, but she focuses a lot on Dragon Ball, and I really like the detail she goes into. Like her fucking... that. The god girl. Whatever.
You know, that
Yeah.
thing.
I'm actually really curious. Last time I was here, I slapped a Cosplay sticker on the like bumper, little cement cone things that they have near the whatever that is. I slapped.
What are those things?
I imagine
Are they
it's-
just there to stop a car, like going into the building?
That's what I've always thought they were, like for Walmart and schools and stuff.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I
Just
don't-
little guard
I don't get why there's
pillars.
one there. Well, I guess for when the
when the garbage truck comes in. Okay, yeah, no, I think I'm gonna declare that mystery solved. I think I've pieced together the logic on those things. Those things are just there to stop other cars from making a mess. And they've been doing a job. The pylons.
pylons. Do you Grant use the Whataburger app?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't use very many apps for places.
Neither do I, and I feel like I'm losing out on that because with like the Whataburger app, every like 6 times you get a full meal or something, you would get a free one or whatever. Something like that. And I feel like I come here at least once or twice a week.
No? Yeah, if you're coming that often, that's probably a solid investment.
Coming for the shakes. So what do we want?
I want a number one plate to drive. Same thing I got with. Actually, no. They have a chicken tender meal here that's really good. Whatever number that is.
I think that's 11, but I can't see. Not everything yet.
Well, I won't try to yell through your window. Hey, there. Also, man, you putting down the windows really shows me how much they tint.
Yeah, that was really done back there.
It's a dark day outside. Not as dark as I thought.
Do they have any like flavored? Okay, no, that's cinnamon rolls. Never mind. They normally have like a special flavored milkshake or something. I know it was coffee for the longest time, caramel. I really like coffee flavored things.
And this
Really
is
like coffee.
This is gonna sound crazy. I hate whipped cream in milkshakes. I just want it to be all fucking liquid ice cream.
Yeah.
Don't put whipped cream in there. Just put more shake in there.
How do you feel with whipped cream on just ice cream or
I'm not really a
Or-
whipped cream guy in general.
like?
Like I'm okay with it. I think it's fine on like pie and stuff.
Okay.
But I don't want a ton of it. I don't like getting a scoop of just whipped cream in anything ever.
I like mixing it with stuff. Like, I like getting down to like half of my Frappuccino and then just churning that shit in. Which number? Hi, can I get a medium vanilla milkshake?
I would like also a number 1 plain and dry with a Diet Coke. Karen, you want anything?
That'll be it. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay, mushroom Swiss burger. I like mushrooms a lot. I just don't like them with things.
Like you like just eating straight
I just like
mushrooms
eating
and stuff?
cooked mushrooms and like sauteed mushrooms and stuff.
Okay.
Like actually, well, I don't really. Every now and again, I can't remember where, I'll get a steak that has mushrooms on top of it. But I don't really.
Mushrooms are never a thing I go out of my way for, but I've been to a lot of like Asian restaurants that have them, that they usually mix them in with either like their fried rice or something, or part of the entree, and I love them there. But I can't really think of any other places that I've really gotten mushrooms at, so I don't. It's not that I dislike them, it's just nothing I really go out of my way to order. I don't think I can tell the difference between most cheeses. Like whenever someone asks what kind of cheese I want on something, I don't have an answer. I just, in my brain, cheese has exactly one taste, and it's, I assume, just American craft cheese, whatever the fuck your basic square of cheese is.
I always just say American just because it's like easy, and it's like I know that's kind of the same everywhere, or it could just be better.
Like I want to say Freebird or something. Like you can get cheese on your burrito. They're like, do you want cheddar,
Pepper jack or American or
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's two different cheeses, and I don't know the difference, so I'm just like that one. I will point at one of them, and just be like that I just want that cheese. Go ahead and put that one on, because I genuinely do not know. I can't tell.
Is cheddar jack? Is that what the one is called? Is that spicy? I know it's like clear or something. I've just assumed by the name that it was a spicy kind of cheese, so I just didn't ever order it.
The only blue cheese I can think of that I remember actively like retching at is blue cheese.
Yeah?
That I do not. I think blue cheese is gross. Anytime that has been on anything, I can smell it from a mile away, and I'm like, ugh.
I don't see why you'd want that on a warm burger.
No, I don't see why anyone would really want that either. But I know that is also a cheese, and I'm not into it. But I also know that cheese is like a fucking. That's the shit that most people point at and go, this is what's gonna kill me because I eat so much cheese. It's like up there with bacon, which is another thing I think is just okay.
I love.
And lo, here it is. I'm the one who's had the heart attack. But the fucking danger foods people point at, I'm just like, eh. And somehow I still got the bullet.
How old were you when you had your heart attack?
25.
Okay, so you're due for another one.
Yeah, it's been long enough.
Yeah. Hey, I just turned 25. Maybe I'll have one this year.
Yo, it's your time.
Yeah, cool. Time to shine.
There's never a bad spirit, or never a bad season, man. It's always hospitals are always open, turns out.
My friend James used to say that you're a piece of shit until you turn 25.
My good friend Greg says you don't have a soul until the first grade. I've always believed that.
Oh man, I can't wait to experience my son with a soul. This husk that's just been puppeted around.
You've only seen part of him. You've only seen a mere shell of the being.
There's not a glint in his eyes yet.
Yeah. There is no twinkle there yet. He hasn't been inspired. When you think about some of your favorite things, like stuff that you are nostalgic for, or like franchises that you are super into, can you find like an origin point and then extrapolate from that the most influential year of your life? Like what year had the most things that you identify with happen? Like as far as fun, like kid stuff, like I'm more mean like that's like for me, it would be tough for me to nail down an age, but I feel like whenever I started getting into Power Rangers was like the first thing that like, this is mine and I am into it. Like none of my family had to show me Power Rangers. No one had to give me Power Rangers things and be like, isn't this cool? I saw it on TV and I was like, I like this and I need to tell other people that I like this because no one has told me that they like this.
Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Like I didn't know anybody else knew about it till 2 came out.
Okay.
Because I didn't really talk to my friends about video games.
Me
I
neither.
guess it was like I had my friends group that was friends I played with at school, and every now and again I would go over to their house and spend the night, or they'd come over to mine. And then I had my neighbors, who were like my real friends, who I'd hang out with. And then every now and again, I would just not be there because I had rented a game, and to me that was just, I'm not going to be out for a bit. And Kingdom Hearts was the first game that I had rented like 3 times in a row. Hopefully the only game I rented 3 times. But I thought it was crazy, and then I saw one day... Okay, so my mom, way later, had a neighbor who I thought was the coolest thing ever, because he was the first adult I'd ever seen play video games. Mm-hmm. And he just had a shit ton of video games. In fact, this was also right around when Naruto was coming out. Like, they hadn't even gotten to the fight on the bridge yet, with Zabuza and everything. And I have the card.
Oh, wait, that's right.
And he was telling me, like, yeah, Sasuke goes evil when leaves with the snake guy. And I was like, what does that mean? That sounds so cool. And he just like, here, I'll show you. And he brings up the manga at its current point, and that's when Sai got introduced.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, what happened to Sasuke? And he was like, actually, I don't know who this guy is. I thought that was so cool. And then just... like 7 years later, finding out.
I remember I got into Naruto. The first episode aired on Cartoon Network or whatever in English. And I was like, that was fun. And then one of my friends had just been watching it in Japanese and just started sending me torrents and was like, here, do yourself a favor, just watch this. And it was particularly, like, my internet sucked at the time, so it took forever to download stuff like that. And the episodes would download out of order because it was just, hey, whoever's seeding them, when they finish, they're done. So I would just watch them as they finished, completely out of order, just to get my anime fix, because it had been a while since, like, I think Dragon Ball Z was the last thing I was super into, so I was really feeling a new anime to jump headfirst into. So I watched the tuning exam, but like all out of order. So my mind is still like really weird on the order of things that happened during the tuning exam. So like part of me is still like, yeah, they have like kind of like the tournament inside the building, and then on the way back they're in the Forest of Death, and that's when Sasuke gets attacked by Orochimaru. I don't know why the curse mark thing happens during his fight with Sound Dude or whatever in there, but I know he gets a curse mark after that fight in my brain. And so now my knowledge of the tuning exam is very weird and misplaced, and probably some spots I never saw just because only 80% of the episode was downloaded, so chunks were just missing.
Are you willing to go back and watch the tuning exam? Because it's a really good arc.
I mean, I still think it's really cool, even with the way I watched it. I could, if I sat down and thought about it, I'm sure I could put things in order that they actually happened. But I know I saw every episode just out of order and sometimes in pieces.
Have you seen Naruto Road to Ninja?
No.
Okay, so I thought it was just a Naruto movie, just whatever. It's another Naruto movie, mm-hmm. And I base almost everything I ever do off the cover of something, or my interest in it. And the cover of that one is just the gang and then the Akatsuki behind them. And I was like, okay, whatever. And apparently they go to another universe in that movie.
That's the alt universe one.
I've never seen it. And I didn't know it was like that till my friend Tristan was telling me about it at lunch today. I was like, that's so cool. I want more stuff to just have this fun what-if universe. Even if it's non-canon. Just let me have it in a movie.
That was kind of the last chunk of Shippuden, was everyone in their fucking weird Dreamscape universes, so we got to see a fucking different universe every episode.
And I loved it. And I need to go and watch that, because it's not in the manga. It's like a little...
You love it in concept. You did not have to watch 10 episodes of it.
Like, in Gurren Lagann, when everybody has... Spoiling the end of Gurren Lagann. When everybody's, like, in the dream sequence or whatever, and then just... What's his beast ass with a wife and daughter that he could never have?
Yeah,
what's his name? Just being in an office or whatever. Yeah, just... I want it more.
No, us when you see Viral with his family, I remember, and like the music swells in a cool way there. I remember getting actually, initially when I watched it, I liked to poo-poo the end of Gurren Lagann, but I have since rectified my views. But even back then, when I thought like it kind of gets out of control at the end, I thought that was a powerful moment, especially for that character, because even though he's like threatening, I feel like through most of the show he's kind of treated like a joke, because he is just defeated at every turn. And then the last thing we see is like, oh man, his dream is this thing that he is physically incapable of ever having, and that's just, it suddenly makes you really feel for this character who's kind of just been a goof for most of the show. I think that's real cool. I need to rewatch Gurren Lagann though. I watched it as it aired on Toonami, and I don't think I've
Was
been
it on
back since.
Toonami?
I'm pretty sure it was. I know I was introduced to it on TV. I think I watched it.
Was it Sci-Fi Channel?
Maybe it was Sci-Fi.
Okay, because that's where I found it.
Okay, that is what it is.
Because Sci-Fi, I think it was Wednesdays, had Anime Day where they would play 2 episodes back to back of anime.
That is what it is. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And that's how I saw it.
I found out about that, and then Nana's something or other, where it was like this multi-universe thing where the only constant thing was this girl, and then the title of the show ended up being the name of the boy that's helping her out through the entire thing, but him in another universe, and he's bad. And that's the name of the show. Yeah. Sci-Fi Channel was fun. I'm not a big sci-fi person, but the fun stuff that they would put on there, like documentaries.
I know they had a bunch of original movies, and part of me really wants to watch them because they are low-budget B sci-fi plots, and that just sounds like really dumb fun.
Whataburgers suck sometimes. I think we've been in this line for like 20 minutes.
The lines here are always slow, which
Yeah.
is something I hadn't considered when.
I had never seen a long line at Whataburger during the day. It's always up at night, I feel.
I don't think I've ever gone to Whataburger and gotten through its drive-thru quickly. Now that I think about it,
Is it hot in here for you guys at all? How do you guys feeling?
a tiny bit, but nothing.
You don't really have vents back there, though.
Yeah, I don't think I really have a way to.
I shouldn't
cool
ask your
myself
opinion.
efficiently.
It doesn't really matter. Sorry.
I am also, like, I've found myself to be, I don't notice a difficult temperature until it's extreme or until someone, like, calls attention to it. Like, I didn't feel hot at all. The second you asked, I suddenly thought about it and I was like, yeah, maybe a little. I feel like I'm pretty agreeable when it comes to temperatures. It's only when I focus on them that I start nitpicking.
I feel like once I'm hot, it's really hard for me to not feel hot.
Okay. You take a while to cool down.
Like, once I start feeling hot, then my body starts putting off heat for some reason, is what I feel.
You're a heat generator.
Yeah,
It's just what you do.
I hate it.
You're such a hot
I
guy,
like wearing
Tyler.
I like wearing these hoodies like this, and it's so hard because I get so hot. I get so hot.
I was doing my best today because I do like the kind of jacket hoodie look, but I too just take it off for comfort immediately. And today I tried to keep it on the whole time, and I only had to catch myself putting it back on like twice.
You have a Whataburger meal with honey dry with a Diet Coke and a vanilla shake?
Yes.
Ketchup?
No, thank you. I don't even know why I entertained the idea. I know you're.
You know me.
Thank you. Oh. I don't get the hype about Wendy's. I feel
Their
like
burger, their patties are square, man. Where's the beef?
yeah.
Remember those commercials with the old ladies? They'd ask about beef. And it was
So
gross.
you don't have to refrigerate it if it's got a right angle on it, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, no. Always fresh, never frozen, made in squares. Those are their pillars of
Them being
business.
squares makes me think even more about it being like a hole punch.
Honestly, yeah. Like, it's just as bad for for circle patties, it's just as easy to make such a simple shape. But with a square, it's like, no, we just had like a sheet of cow and cut it into a grid.
Yeah.
And here you go.
I had this sharp square object that I just pushed through a cow, and out the end popped the patty onto the grill.
Have you ever been in like a butcher's shop or anything, or like anything where like you are seeing animals before their food and in the process?
I mean, I've been to farms. I have a family who has a large farm. If that's what you're talking about.
No,
like,
I was
like
more meaning like
breaking
a
down
place.
a pig. Oh.
Yeah, because there was a.
I've never.
Just said I don't even really know what it was. I saw it as not like a little kid, but I was like 13. But nearby there was just a I don't know if an animal food processing place, something. And for some reason, we went there for a school thing, and it was like, they're like, and if you're not squeamish, you can come this way. And I was like, whatever, I'm a tough. Oh Jesus, I don't want to see this, and left immediately. It's not fun.
I remember there was some like kids museum or something that's super interactive around here that I went to in elementary school. And they had this small theater square thing that wasn't... It was like a pop... You know those pop-up photo booths?
Kind of.
Imagine that as like a little pop-up theater.
Okay.
That just has like the rafters that you sit in, and like a very short row of 3. And it was that, and then just in the middle of all the other stuff. And they told us to get in there to watch the film, but for some reason it was the middle of the film, and it was just a kid being born.
Ah.
And we were like in the 3rd grade. It was just that for like a solid 10 seconds shoved in our face. There was a warning in front of it, but because we came in the middle, we didn't see that.
You got to miss the part where they braced you for impact. You mentioning photo booths, like, I feel like fucking 90% of the teen romance relationship movies I saw resulted in someone finding a bunch of photos from a photo booth and that getting them emotionally charged. Did you ever take pictures in a photo booth with anyone ever?
I have recently. It's a...
Oh, well, fuck you. Never mind. I guess I'm the weird
It's a
one.
kind of a popular thing now, because they're all over in, like, Round 1.
Huh.
They're all over, like, Japanese or Asian marketplaces now. Because they're still all over Japan.
I know I remember them being at, like, a mall I would go to every so often. But I can't think of anywhere else that I would just, like, see them at.
There's a
Maybe
photo
that's why
booth
I
at the Alamo Draft House.
That's weird to me. Do people use photo booths anymore? Now that I think about it, you've got fucking phones. You can take a picture anywhere. Or is it just the idea of it being...
A lot of them print out stickers immediately, and they have like fun emojis and I don't know.
All right. No, I can get that.
Also, just the immediately printed memory.
Yeah. The instant print is definitely I feel like the appeal there.
It's a well-lit Polaroid
Okay.
that you have on a tripod.
Did you ever have a Polaroid camera?
Mm-mm.
Oh man.
I want to get one of the newer ones. They have some Polaroid-ish company, I don't know if it's Polaroid or who, is doing a collab with the 90th anniversary of Mickey. I really want to go get that one, but it's like an extra like $60, I think. I don't want to spend it.
No, I can get that.
Plus, I already have a multi-$1,000 DSLR or mirrorless camera I use that I could just buy a specialty printer that hooks up from my phone to print those photos.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Which I've thought about doing, but it's such a pain because one, I take the photo, cool. Now I have to transfer it to my phone. That takes a minute to set up and then to do. Then I edit it on my phone, and then I hook my phone up to that printer and then print it.
So yeah, so even if it's an on-the-go answer, it is still a lot of steps.
But the idea of having something like that at a con where it's like, okay, well, at the end of the night, I edit and print off a bunch of stuff. These are the photos I really like, and then I hopefully run into that same
Find those
cosplayer.
cosplayers and give
Yeah,
them their
it's
picture.
like, here's your thing.
That's
I didn't.
pretty cool.
Yeah. It'd be neat.
That'd be a fun way to do it, for sure.
Can you imagine some instant thing where it's like, I take your photo, you ask for my business card. On one side, it's my information, then immediately on the other is the photo I took of you.
That'd be a pretty good. That would be a pretty good marketing strat. That sounds like a good way to impress people at cons, for sure. We had my brother got like a little Polaroid camera for Christmas one year, and I don't really remember so much about the camera itself, but it had like you could have it make funny sounds to initiate a smile, like on your subject, essentially. Basically, anytime you, like, if you took the picture, I don't remember exactly what it was, but there's just a stock one that just goes cheese. I remember there being one with like a really weird voice that's like, make a funny face, do the face, and like it like holds it out really long, and my brothers and I laughed at it constantly, and that was how we took pictures with that Polaroid, was just with a goofy sound with every picture. Does Asher have very many fun noise-making toys? Like, I mean, I'm sure they're annoying because you have to live with them, but anything that you're like, man, if I was a kid, I would have been way into this thing Asher has.
PS4.
No, that's fair.
A dad.
That's, no, alright, yeah, no. These are both good gifts. Man, I'm just jealous that, like, fucking, my nephew, for Christmas, my mom got him, like, this little, it's a bunch of, it looks like a concert hall, and then there's just these different animals that play different musical instruments, and as you put them on, they add the instrument to the song, and I'm like, that's so fucking cool, I would have gone crazy with that, and it plays, like, 5 different songs that can use any number of the, like, any group of instruments, and play through it with just those instruments, and it's real fun, and I'm sad I didn't have that when I was like 3.
He does have something that I always wish I did have as a kid. Those globes that have the pin on them, that you can just touch where it is and it will tell you.
Oh, okay. Like you just kind of, you touch the pin to it and it's like, this is Africa or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is Costa Rica. That's cool.
And just a globe in general. I always wanted one as a kid.
I feel like we had a globe at one point at my parents' house, but I only remember it as a very small kid. Something must have happened to it at some point.
Did you ever have, I don't know what they're called, but they're at science fairs, and I feel like everywhere, the little, like, wire ball thing that just, you could throw up and it expands. It just gets bigger.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what the fuck they're called.
I remember that specifically because I'm pretty sure it's in Small Soldiers. We were talking about that earlier.
Is it?
I think one of the characters uses one at some point.
Okay. I know it's in, like, Drake and Josh. I know, like, Drake just is fucking with it at some point in an episode for, like, 2 seconds, and then it's gone forever, but I just remember.
Weren't there, like, was like a ball that you could collapse into a frisbee and throw it? Was that a thing? Is that real?
That's real.
Okay.
The frisbee ball?
Yeah.
I like frisbees a lot. Have you ever done, like, actual, like, competitive frisbee?
I was just getting ready to ask,
like,
actually,
frisbee golf.
Like if you've ever done frisbee golf, because I feel kind of the opposite. I think frisbees are fun, but anytime you would try to organize rules around them, I think that sounds lame. Like, but I can understand why people would do it, but for me, I think I would just way more prefer, let's just throw a frisbee around.
I've done, okay, so Nick, my friend in McKinney, not Lanny, does frisbee golf. So, and we've just thrown the frisbee back and forth, but when I've gone frisbee golfing with him, it's just been get the frisbee in there. Just do it from anywhere.
Just trying to get it from a distance. I know next to nothing about frisbee golf. It's just, to me, my thought process is like, throwing a frisbee around with your buddies is cool. I
don't know if we weren't playing by rules just because I was there, or if there are rules. I don't know. I didn't really ask. Because I just know that, I just think that the little gate or whatever it's called that you throw them into is really cool. It's like a chain. It's like a pole that has a hoop at the top and then chains, and then like another like guarding thing, so when they fall in, they fall off, and then this chain, so when they hit it, they don't go through, I think. I don't know if I'm explaining this. Okay, so there's like a loop here, and there's like a basket here, and then there's chains for the basket and the top of the hoop.
I'm just imagining a basketball hoop with chains, but I know that's wrong.
We're in dead traffic. I can look at my phone and show you.
Don't text and drive, Tyler.
Okay.
That's danger. Touche.
I need to move 4 feet. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of any other fucking... Is cornhole a thing out here? Do people play that?
Just cornhole.
I don't want to besmirch you with the knowledge.
No, tell me. I need...
Cornhole is a very popular game back in Ohio, at least, where you set up these fucking... You get 4... Alright, yeah, okay. No, I have seen those things. Okay.
No, if this will come up at all, but...
But you get 4 bean bags, like little bean bags, and 2 kind of wooden ramps with a hole in them. And you set them a certain amount of distance apart.
Oh!
And you each are on a team, and you are throwing the bean bags until you can get it in the hole or on the board.
That's called cornholing?
Yeah, it's cornhole.
Oh.
It's just the game.
I wonder, is that
Play
called
cornhole.
Is that
I don't
called
know if
different
you are
things?
cornholing, but it is you play cornhole. I don't know if it is called something else in other places, but that is the only name I've ever heard it.
Because I did that at like every fair I went to, and then like Nick's parents have that at his place, so we played that a few times.
Okay.
But
I've
never thought about the name of that.
That's the other big yard game. We have people over for a cookout kind of thing. I know my parents had a croquet set at one point, but I feel like none of us felt sophisticated enough to use it.
I love croquet.
Croquet to me has always sounded like, I don't know, it always sounded snobby to me. I don't know why.
It's framed so snobby, though.
Yeah.
That's why. Because you only ever see it done with people who are wearing like polo shirts and tucked into their nice shoes.
Their polo shirts tucked into their nice shoes.
Yeah, with their horses in the background on the polo. Wearing those hats that Zito wears, but like in a fancier way.
That brings up another thought. Have you ever ridden a horse?
By myself?
I mean, just at all. Like,
Yes.
Have you been on a horse's back?
Yes.
Okay.
I find horses terrifying.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
They're just like big muscular dogs, and that
With heavy toenails.
Yeah, with really heavy toenails. I don't know. I had to do a Attack on Titan shoot where we rented horses, and I was terrified the whole time because they were up there, and they have the gear on, like the propulsion gear or whatever, so it looks real.
Wait, the cosplayers do, or the
Yes,
horses?
the cosplayers do.
Okay.
So the
I was like,
horses
do they
are a
have
little
proportion horses in Attack on Titan? I only saw season 1. If that's something that's in that sounds awesome, and I need to get back into it.
It could be. I haven't read the manga. But
man, now I just want to see a fucking horse going around like a city, zipping around with the fucking Attack on Titan things. Anyway, sorry, continue your story.
No, you're good. Give me a chance to sip on my shake. But so the horses are already disgruntled because they have this weird thing like poking them in the butt. And then I'm running around in between the horses with like a stepladder trying to get shots because horses are big.
Mm-hmm.
And I've like always known that, but I always underestimate how tall horses are. Like I always like
Was this horse tall enough that you definitely would don't ask for context, but just give me a yes no, would you need a bucket?
yes.
Okay.
Like
That's the correct answer.
huge full-size horses. I don't know. Full-size horse.
I feel like horses are weirdly measured in hands. I feel like that's a thing I've heard.
Is that?
That
How many hands?
How many hands tall is your horse is a thing?
Well, you know what really sucks is they normally so you know how the king was the one who like measured foot and stuff? Like,
Oh yeah, I remember hearing that story where it was like,
Yeah.
we base feet based off of this one king's supposed foot size.
so in America, when we measure off hands, it goes off whoever is in the seat of power. So everybody who's running off hands has actually gotten a lot taller lately.
Their feet are huge.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the concept of just people standing next to a horse and then just putting one hand on the dirt and then another hand and then another hand just going up the horse until they reach its nose and then being like, all right, this horse is 20 hands high. It's a big ass horse.
Have you ever tried to figure out how like big your room is, or like anything in your house by just walking heel to toe?
Yes, I've definitely done that before. I don't remember when, like specifically, but I have used that method plenty of times.
Have you?
Oh,
go ahead. No, go on.
I was gonna say, you talking heel to toe reminded me of just doing something in a straight line. If I ever have to draw something, the scariest thing for me to draw is a perfectly straight line. Like, I don't think I can do it without making it curve somewhere, and it always alarms me whenever it's like, all right, now I'm doing this part of a drawing, now I'm gonna put a floor beneath them, and I need a level surface for them to be standing on. Just one straight line, always, I am never satisfied.
A line was almost the only thing I would put on a paper, just because I always had like something else on my desk that was just long, and I could just trace against it.
Okay, yeah.
So like often I would just get a ruler, and I had a ruler that like the center was like hollow or whatever, or just not there, so it was, I don't know, but you could put a pen there and just have a straight line. So I would just make like complex like circles or whatever out of lines,
Okay.
or just have weird shapes.
Do you remember did you ever have to use when I say compass, I don't mean the thing that tells you a direction, the math tool, a compass, where you can draw perfect circles with it and do their...
Isn't that a
values and
sextant?
stuff? I'm pretty sure it's a compass. That's what I remember always being told. Anyway.
The sharp thing that you put a pencil through on the other side?
Yes.
I've heard both compass and I think sextant is what...
I've never heard sextant, but I'm not going to call you wrong, because I just don't
It's
know.
for mapping, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a sextant.
Okay.
Either that or the...
According to chat, a sextant is used for naval navigation.
Okay, so I think the sextant's like the... Is it a protractor that's the ruler that's just half circle?
It's like a
Okay,
semicircle.
I think the sextant is like that with a telescope on it. For measuring angles against the sea or something?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Either way, I'm trying to think of the last time I used a compass.
I've never used a compass, but I always fucking wanted one. Just like the idea of stabbing the person next to me in school that was given to me by the teacher, an item that I could just do that
weapon.
with. Also, just drawing a perfect circle seemed really fun.
I was going to say, I got pretty hyped when I found out I could just draw perfect circles with it, and suddenly all of my dumb cartoon characters still looked like shit, but their heads were a perfect circle. And I was super into it.
Was there ever, like, okay, so I'm not good at drawing at all, but there was one character I, liked the design of, so I drew them once, and then I was like, oh, that's cool, that's easy, that's super simple. So I just kept drawing them over and over again, so everything I had was just a variant of this one character, and it was Wilt from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends.
Which one is that?
The tall red guy who's missing an arm.
Gotcha. I never watched Foster's. I don't think I've ever seen an actual whole episode of it. If I have, it's only been one or two.
That was the show that I told you that I was really hyped about the premiere for some reason, so I set the VHS to record an hour early and then just left my house because I had shit to do.
You needed to see the premiere of Foster's. I remember, I don't know how, I'm trying to think of our age difference. Do you remember the SpongeBob premiere? Do you remember a Nickelodeon pre-SpongeBob, first of all?
I do remember a Nickelodeon pre-SpongeBob. Okay. I don't remember a premiere. I just remember it being... Well, Nickelodeon, I feel like after... I remember not liking SpongeBob at first.
Okay.
So I think it was around when SpongeBob got added. I just stopped watching Nickelodeon entirely, and just watched like Cartoon Network.
I was definitely way more a Cartoon Network guy. Disney Channel had like 1 or 2 shows I liked, but it was very rare for me to... Like, Disney Channel was the third on the 3 kid network lists for me to look at. Because Cartoon Network was always number 1. That is the first thing I would go to if I was just a kid with nothing to do and time to watch TV. Always. We had DirecTV, $2.96, Cartoon Network, every time. And then if that seemed like something I didn't want to watch, $2.90 or $2.99, Nickelodeon. If that didn't seem very good, $2.90, Disney time.
Are these the real?
Those were all the numbers.
Okay. Because did your family switch cable companies a lot? Because mine did, and that got really fucking annoying, even though I only had to keep up with like 3 channels.
For me, it was, I think we changed TV providers 3 times.
Okay.
So not too much. And they were all a long stretch between each other, so I had time to learn them.
I just remember my mom had a different number system or something than my grandparents. So anytime I went to go visit my mom, I would have to, I think it was 362 or 394, something like, 362, I think was Comedy Central.
Okay.
And that was easy to remember because at home, the 62 was Cartoon Network. But prior to that, 32 was Cartoon Network and 29 was Nickelodeon. I think currently it's 296 is Cartoon Network, and that's the only thing I know at our current thing.
All right. Well, if you're on DirecTV, I know your numbers.
I don't know what we have now. Whatever it is, the base thing is a Roku.
Oh.
Which I think is really cool. Like the TV and stuff is an app in the Roku.
That's neat.
And just every room now just has a Roku in it, and they don't even have like a normal box. It's just like a weird. It's super tiny, and the HDMI goes in it, and there's barely any room for that.
Do you think traditional TV, like, how much longer does that stuff have? You think
a long time, honestly. Yeah. I don't.
You still don't
very
think
much.
Streaming model is gonna pick up as hot.
I think the streaming model is still going to go strong. It's going to get stronger. I just don't think the traditional media one is going to get weaker anytime soon.
Okay.
Because I really don't feel like it has.
I don't know. For me, I feel like, and maybe it's just because of my social circles, but I feel like a lot of people my age are only doing streaming things now, like just streaming service stuff, and have no interest on having like a scheduled TV station that they follow or anything. And very few people who I talk with nowadays have that.
I think that's just our social circle, though.
That might be.
There's like... Well, actually... you know what? Out of all the people I know, like even older adults, I think my parents are the only people who still pay for cable.
Oh, Ace, you're welcome for all the follows yesterday. You were cool.
Oh, is he
in here?
Awesome. Yo, dude.
More kisses. We need to return something. We don't have the receipt. What's the return policy?
Do you remember us?
Yeah. If you vouch for us, that little box thing that you told us that would be the perfect thing that we needed, well, it fucking wasn't.
It's not your fault, though. It's us misreading the situation.
But we just need to return it. We don't know where the receipt is. And Quinn, if you're in the chat, did we give you the receipt for Micro Center?
I'm trying to think.
I feel like they don't really make red bricked buildings Actually, I don't feel like they make bricked buildings anymore, as that's the aesthetic of the building. Everything has like something over it now, and smooth.
The only things I can think of that I still think of as a red brick building are schools. Like, I feel like that is, in my brain, still what your average school looks like.
I know, but do they like have... Can you build a school? Like, is a school that's recently built or anything?
I don't think recently, though. I don't think new buildings are being brick.
Because is that brick? Or am I just
No, I think that's just a red building, but it's also kind of far away. It could be bricks. Now that I'm staring at it, I think it might be bricks. I'm not sure. You're asking the guy who is always second-guessing himself when it comes to his vision.
You're probably not the person to...
Congrats, Ace. We got him $70 in 16 minutes yesterday. We got him to $199. Way to
Hey,
go.
cool.
I saw on your card aspiring Twitch partner. Good luck, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay to do that. Sorry if it wasn't.
Yeah. Apologies
Okay.
if you felt awkward at work. No, but I'm psyched it went well.
Yeah. I always feel bad when, like, the traffic is already like this and you see a cop trying to cut through. Like that
yeah.
over there. Like, everybody... The standard is it's moving to the right lane, right? But how do you do that when it's bumper to bumper?
Man, you make your own rules. You are the law.
I guess. Is it okay to get on the shoulder then? Or should the cop drive in the shoulder?
I don't think the cop should drive the shoulder. I feel like that should just be a cop zone if it's needed, I guess. Just got somewhere to be.
I think the danger of that is just because it's a place that vehicles aren't in and air is often thrust this way that all debris is in the shoulder.
Yo, you're welcome, Ace. He says thanks so much. So I'm going to say that it was not a bother. So cool.
Hey, Ace, are you streaming tonight? There's like a long...
Yeah, there'll be a bit of a delay, so don't worry about it. I'll keep an eye out though. I'll let you know.
If... Man, never mind. Where we are, there aren't that many McDonald's. I feel like where I live, there's like 9 McDonald's and like 20 Starbucks. And if I could get rid of like 90% of those McDonald's and have like a ramen shop out there, I would. Because the
Ace
closest
says he'll be
one is
streaming
like...
Tuesday.
Hey, cool.
But anyway, you were saying ramen stuff?
Yeah, I just feel like there's nothing where I live. Or at least nothing I am interested in, like food-wise. I have to drive out to like Dallas or Addison, Carrollton, Richardson area to get anything.
Oh, cool. We don't need the receipt to return it.
All right, rad, cool. Did we bring it?
I have it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, we could maybe...
Because all we need is the... since we used your store info, so we just need the email attached to whatever... something. So
Okay.
if you got that, we're good.
It's either one of two. What did you guys call these overpasses as a kid?
Me?
I called them spider webs.
Oh, I think I called them loops.
The loops.
Like, all right, then we'll take that loop and go to a different road.
Look at all the pretty Dallas buildings.
Dallas skyline seems pretty good.
Have you ever seen them put up those cranes? Because I haven't, and I want to see them how they fucking do it.
How they get up there?
Yeah, because it's just like that tall thing is now gone when that building is done. Like what is that? I've never seen the base of one either, I don't think. So I don't know how it's standing there, and I don't know how it's transported. Like, I imagine it's a thing that's broken apart, or is it like a ladder thing that it's extending? Okay. Because it has so much support, and if it's a ladder thing that's extending, that it's getting weaker as it's going higher.
Construction foreman Tyler, we need to bring in this crane. How are we going to do it?
Helicopters. You drop it in, and
okay,
it's just there.
An air-dropped crane?
And then you cut it down like a tree, and hopefully it doesn't fall on the building you just made.
Brilliant.
Every time
How did we build a city before hiring you?
Yeah, every time they get a little shorter, but you can reuse the same one, because if you drop it high enough from the helicopter, then it just goes in the ground. But however much is in the ground is how much you're losing, so it's a gamble.
Yeah.
If you have enough money to make your own building, because I think like the AT&T or Chase building or whatever, you can choose the shape, right? Who do you have to talk to about like getting that approved? Because that's just a triangle. that has like swifts on the side. Like if you view that from the
Chase building is just a circumcised dick.
I know, but you can see that triangle over there.
No, I see that triangle.
But if you actually go, we're going to be able to see, if you go to the, get on the side of the Chase building, that's a big hole at the top.
Oh. Huh.
Like that, where it starts
that
bending.
line in the middle?
No, just below that.
Down there.
Like between those two kind of like glaring things is a hole.
I wonder if the people on like the opposite side of the hole can see each other through their windows. If they have fun, like pantomiming games to each other. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
I would wave across that gap.
I've always wanted to, like, just like live in the city.
I like having space for stuff. I've always found cities feeling too compact and claustrophobic for me to want to live in one. I like visiting them and I like walking around in them, but I would never want to live there, I think.
I think the annoyances of parking and getting to where I live, would probably be the annoying part.
If I lived in a city, I definitely wouldn't own a car, I think.
Yeah? Like, honestly, I wouldn't mind living out here and still making that journey to work.
Where are we going?
Camera store. To pick up my camera.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to the tattoo place, because it's right over here, too.
I have to be back by like 6:30.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think this would take that long.
Oh.
Yeah, traffic's hit us a bit harder than I think we had planned for.
Cool. Then let's just pick up my camera and go back to the office.
Okay. But,
Left?
what are we talking about?
Oh.
Before then, building shapes, dumb stuff like that.
Like living in the city.
Yeah, living in the city.
I definitely feel like as long as I'm somewhere I want to be, I could honestly live wherever and drive however far for work. Because as it is, I'm one of the farthest members, and I have to drive 30 minutes. Farthest local members.
Yeah.
And drive like 30 minutes to get to work.
Mm.
Do you value a better place to live over a long commute or whatever, short commute?
Growing up in Ohio, there was never any commute that was less than like 20 minutes. So I would say initially it wouldn't have bothered me as much, but ever since moving here, I've not had to drive very far, and I feel like I've gotten very used to that. It would be a bit of an adjustment. It's definitely a factor now more than it was, though.
I feel like we've just been driving this entire time without actually being able to get to anything.
No,
Because
yeah.
traffic sucks.
Yeah, no, this traffic was terrible.
This is the first time I've been out on like actual when it starts.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot that this is how bad traffic would be. I didn't think that we'd be going on a freeway. Whoops.
Use your turn signal. Use your fucking turn signal.
Yeah. Lesson of the day.
I was with Stefan the other day, just driving back from dropping off my camera, and somebody outside our office was driving behind him, had his window down, and he was just throwing litter out of his car, like little chunks of paper. And every time he did it, I would honk at him.
Did you stop?
No, but I felt bad because there was somebody just walking their dog there, so I was just honking.
I think I read somewhere that all car horns are keyed to the note F sharp, and that's like the more they've been used or worn down or something.
Okay, I'm not super smart with musics.
Yeah.
Key, meaning
like as in like every car horn should be doing the note F sharp, or like your stock car horn sound. I think that's what they're tuned to. Like that's what.
Because I've heard several different car horns, or I guess like just a handful.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
would they all sound?
Other than like novelty ones, but the note they're supposed to be hitting, I think I've been told, is F sharp. This could just be bullshit. Someone could have just said that to me, and I read it on a fortune cookie or something, and it's a total lie. But I feel like I heard that somewhere, and that sounds close enough to something that might actually be real that I kind of believe it.
Are any of you guys car people, like at all?
Oh, like into cars?
Yeah, because I am not, but like, my uncle works on a show where he works on cars all day. And like, I've just been around a lot of fancy cars my whole life. But I just, it's never been a thing more than like, it gets me from A to B. Like, good example, my dream car that I actually got was a Nissan Cube, and that's, a lot of people hate that car because of how unsymmetrical it is.
I've never been a big car person at all. Like, there are definitely, I'm trying to think. I feel like there were car designs that I liked, but I feel like that was just as a kid I was told these are very expensive cars, and so I just went, then they must be cool. Like, I couldn't draw what I'm pretty sure a Lamborghini looks like, but I've heard that name with enough like awe around it from car people that I assume they're really, really, really good.
I couldn't tell you the different names of all these smaller cars.
Yeah, I can't tell you makes and models from looks. I don't know that shit.
I can't tell at all how people just glance at a car and go, this is a 57 model.
My biggest fear is that I'm ever in a hit and run accident and I have to describe the car that hit me, because I will not be able to.
It was green!
Yeah, I'll be able to say a color and probably how many wheels it had. I could probably take a guess at maybe how many doors. But sometimes even that can be tricky.
I actually practice something all the time. Just like, let's say this person gets hit by that car fucks off. Okay, I'm staring at their license plate just trying to get the number. And then I will pass them, and then whenever they pass me, I will try to see if I had the match for their license plate number.
Okay.
It's not safe playing games in traffic.
No, that's definitely the truth. Have you been pulled over a lot, like just in driving over the course of your life?
I've been in more accidents than I have been pulled over.
Okay. I think I've been pulled over twice, and once I just got a warning, and the other time I got a ticket. But I am typically a slow driver, so it's not really a problem for me. I take that back. 3 times, but the other time was also a warning. I just didn't realize I was leaving in my friend's apartment, and didn't realize that it was nighttime. His parking lot was very well lit. I didn't realize I didn't have my lights on, and a cop yelled at me. But I didn't get a ticket or anything because no one was around. He was like, "You need to do that."
I've been ticketed for not stopping at a stop sign, which I contested and won. Speeding, and that's it. What I had, like, okay, so for the longest time when I was first living in my car, where I was staying was okay, like no one bugged me in my car.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved locations. 1 second, I need to look at the map. Okay. Riverfront.
But you moved locations.
I moved locations, and where I went, in the first like hour of just being there, trying to take a nap, I get 2 cops knocking on my door, being like, "Hey, you can't be here and do this." I was like, "Well, I don't know where else to go. This area is kind of like the safest area to do this, and I'm in my car not bugging anybody." And then I was like, I'll get out of here. I'll just not be asleep. I'll be awake. And for some reason, being awake in your car is okay. I can be in my car. I just can't sleep. And then I fell asleep reading a book, and then the same cops showed up. And I didn't get in trouble. They just gave me more shit and told me to leave. But it was annoying.
My friend James and I were on our way back from a Smash tournament that was a couple states away, and we were driving back in the middle of the night, and that's the only time I've ever had to pull off of the road and sleep for a little bit, because we were like, I'm gonna fall asleep on this freeway and kill us if I don't do something. We did not budget for a hotel or anything. That was never in our plan. We need to just kind of pull off and just sleep for like an hour just to give us a little boost and make it the rest of the way home. And that fucking terrified me. So living in your car, I can only imagine.
It's weird.
I bet.
But where I kept staying was just like apartment complex parking lots, so, and parks. So
yeah, I guess we were on the side of the freeway, so stuff passing by was making a bunch of noise.
I did have to do that one time, like recently driving back from Houston.
Oh yeah.
I made a day trip. Not this last time, but I made a day trip to see a friend. And I guess I was there for 2 days, whatever. And I left at like 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. And then there's like a long stretch of Houston where it's just trees and shit. And there was nothing to pull over to. And I just pull over into the like dirt or whatever. And I just sleep there for like an hour as cars going like 80 rush by and shake my car.
Yeah, like that.
It's scary.
That's a scary place to nap, let's say. If you could get a bus or a car for the same price, and it's just a decent car, get you A to B, and the bus is just a decent bus, but it's a fucking bus, same price, which would you get? Oh, I would buy a car. I wouldn't want to drive a bus around.
Even if it's like a short bus and it's easy to drive. It's a short bus and you can design it any way you want. You can have all your friends in the short bus with you.
Nope. I'm still gonna say car.
No?
Because even if it is easy among buses, it is still bigger than a car. And if it's not bigger than a car, then I don't want a bus that's smaller than a regular car.
Okay.
It's one of those things where here's what I would do though.
Okay, if you could have an
bus.
ambulance.
I would get a regular full-sized bus, and here's the fucking fun trick. I wouldn't use it as a vehicle. I would turn that into like a fucking, like, I would take its wheels off and use it as a frame for like a small, like, long tubular building.
Oh, okay.
I'd make a bug out shack there or whatever.
A lot of people get those, what are they called?
A shelter.
This is the long storage crates that you see on like 18-wheelers. What are those called?
Just like their trailers or whatever?
A trailer, I guess. But there's ones that you can lift off and stuff. But
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people just buy those because you can get those for like a few thousand and just convert that into an apartment.
Yeah, that doesn't sound possible.
It feels so surreal going more than 20.
Yeah, we haven't been able to drive for a minute. Is this where your camera is?
This is where it is. Oh, sorry. I've never like looked at this map. I wonder if you can I wonder if it marks where you are. What did I do with the card?
You gave it to me.
Oh, why? Support mom and pop camera stores. Just go to Best Buy. Competitive camera. Pretty good place. Are they fucking closed?
Did we get it too late?
Apparently. Cool.
Well, hey!
I can't get my camera. I'm gonna come get my fucking camera tomorrow. I'm mad. Fan, meet me here at 3. Sorry. Also, when we left, I didn't think that it would take this long to get here.
But that's the magic of road trip!
Yep, sometimes
Sometimes shit happens.
sometimes you can't beat the boss and it sucks.
Now it's a memory. Now it's a fun story we're gonna tell. Remember that time we did a stream where we drove for like 2 hours and then we got there and it was closed? Man, streams. And then we'll laugh about it. That's great.
Do you have stuff like shorthanded in your Google Maps? Like what home and work is and stuff?
Yes.
I just recently did that.
Has it improved your life for the better?
It has, just because like I didn't know what our work address was, so I'd look up stuff around it.
I remember I would go to after band every week. Me and a group of friends would go to a nearby Steak and Shake, and I did that enough times, or we did that enough times that a phone started recognizing that restaurant as his work because he went there so much. And it was like, "Are you going to work?" ? And I thought that was great. I don't know how that kind of learning works, but just you keep going to this place on a rigid schedule. Is this your job?
I could be completely wrong on how it works, but I think the iPhone, if you don't save a number and you or the person you are texting mentions a name, if that person calls you, the caller ID will come up maybe Zoe or maybe whatever the name is.
Okay.
Because there was a employee I worked with at the pizza place that we were talking about Sister Zoe or something. I can't remember. And he just calls me one day and it just comes up Zen or Zoe. I'm like, what? And then I look at the log and it doesn't have that.
Huh.
I don't know.
Weird. I don't know.
Akon used to be there. That's this big old Anatole. It was a really fun venue.
It looks nice.
They kind of shot themselves in the foot recently. They moved from the Fort Worth Convention Center, which was a really nice venue because there's like a bunch of hotels near it. It was a convention center, so it was large. And now they are at Fair Park, which is where the State Fair is. But all the buildings that they rented aren't really very close together. There's not a hotel within I think the closest hotel is like a mile and a half away. It's not in a safe area of Dallas at all. I actually think that area is the highest crime rate. You have to take public transport to get to and from. They have a gate that you have to go through, like a security checkpoint every time. I don't know, it just sucks. I am not going this year because I only go places that I can get a room very close at, so I can go change my gear out frequently.
Yeah, that seems like a safe route to go for if you're doing photography stuff, just having a way to switch that kind of stuff out.
I also feel like this is a very dumb decision because cosplayers also, during the day, will change out of their stuff or just want to get out of their stuff. They said that they're going to have changing spots, but that requires you bringing stuff to change into. That's you carrying around a bunch of shit, knowing you are also probably buying a bunch of shit there.
My view of conventions has changed a lot since, the only reason I used to go to anime conventions at all was even back before I worked with these guys. It wasn't even so much to just go to the anime convention. That was fun and a neat part of it. But I always loved putting on panels with my friends and just kind of goofing off. And it's one of those things where I totally know and understand and get that there is this big convention community that just loves to go into a bunch of them and doing a ton of stuff at cons that I barely know exist. But it just kind of fascinates me that all still exists, and I feel like I go to conventions for work now and still just barely brush up against it because I spend most of it in a booth selling stuff. I feel like conventions are this big magical place that I only see a tenth of, maybe.
I've never actually sat down and watched a panel that wasn't one of ours. I feel like I'm always doing something at a con. I'm always walking somewhere, walking around, and talking with different people.
I like people watching.
That sounds gross as shit. There's a billboard for orange vanilla Coca-Cola. I already think Coke tastes like chalk water. I don't think orange and Coke would go well together.
I've never been a big vanilla Coke guy, and I know that's a popular flavor. I know many, many people love it. And by all means, you are free to love it. But not for me, and adding orange into that just seems like an even worse choice.
What is your favorite like go-to sub flavor? Or I feel like it's different for every soda, but like a lot of people don't know Sunkist has different flavors. I really like their strawberry, and then I like going to cherry Dr. Pepper. Not that I think it has any more or less cherry in it, but it has less of that carbonated kick that normal Dr. Pepper has.
I'm a fucking basic bitch when it comes to sodas. Just get my regulars or my diets. A lot of the fruit add-ins I feel like tend to, I don't know, they always seem like this weird thing that's just put on top of a flavor for me. And I never feel like they mix very well. It always just seems like this, I have a mouthful of soda and a fruit flavor. It never feels like a fruit flavored soda, I guess. I don't know. It's just like none of the alternate flavors really ever appeal to me because it always feels like it's this added extra thing that does not mesh for me.
I'll just think of it as that didn't work, or I've never thought of it as like these things shouldn't go together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you ever make the drinks where you mixed everything together at the fountain?
I didn't do that often, but you know what I did do often? I would mix... Okay, so my parents had a bunch of empty bottles for, like, travel stuff, for shampoo and conditioner, and I had my own, but it was a bigger one, and I would mix, like, my shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in there, and, like, during, like, just in the bath playing, I'm like, this is the secret formula to cure everything, or that will give me powers if I rub it on my body.
I made I built myself a bad relationship with medicine because I would take Smarties and empty pill containers and put Smarties in there and be like, it's my medicine. And I feel like I was just lining myself up to become a drug addict at that point because I was literally turning medicine into candy and viewing it as such. And I was just like, nah, anytime I feel a little sick, I'm just going to pop a couple Smarties in my mouth and feel good. Not realizing how terrible that sounds.
Well, Grant, you're in your 30s now, so that's about when it would happen.
All right, okay. I just need to get myself some Smarties and start mixing them in with some meds and just, placebo. Can't get much more sugar pill than a fucking Smartie.
Can you buy the like colored pill capsules? Because I know you can get clear ones, but I want like colored ones for like photo shoots and shit.
There has to be some sort of like med supply store or something you can get that from.
Because I can totally understand the argument against it with trying to duplicate visually medicine.
I can definitely see good reasons to not have them, but there are plenty of things that people sell that there are good reasons to not sell them. So I feel like someone somewhere has to sell those.
Wow, I've never seen somebody bike along the highway.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, apparently. Is it just because it's Texas, or do most places have so many different highways in such a small part? Because we have like 9 different highways around here.
I don't know. I don't know enough about different cities to really know.
I don't very much know about the highway system and such. Wait and see, it's not touching.
Did you ever think like putting lights under your car was cool? And that
No.
never seemed cool to you? Okay, good. I always thought it was lame. My older brother, I don't know if he did it or one of his friends did it, but I remember talking about it with him. I thought it was cool.
The stupidest thing that I'm so happy went out of fashion was spinners.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that everywhere.
For a second, I thought you meant fidget spinners, and
Nah, man, I'm sad those are gone.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Dude, someone at Godswill's Kingdom Hearts party was selling the Mark of Mastery charms that Aqua has, but as fidget spinners.
Man,
Where you just hold down the mark and spin the flower.
that's pretty good. What's the longest road trip you've ever taken? Both in distance or in like time you were just on the road. Like might not have been you went super far, but you just went a lot of places and didn't come home for a long time. And I'm not counting when you lived in your car, that wasn't just one big road trip.
I was thinking that'd be great. Man, it's so crazy. It took me half a year to get from McKinney to Richardson and back.
They were to keep twisting my elbow in the
I don't know. I know I went on a road trip or two with my parents at a very young age. Maybe McKinney or like Dallas to Lubbock,
Okay.
which I think is 6 or 7 hours. It's not really that long. I do con road trips all the time that are like 4 to 5.
But do you drive the whole way there?
Yeah,
Okay.
if I am going and it's normally I'm the one driving the entire time, and it is my car because I really like driving, and I also get more of a decision in the radio play. Real quick, Grant, it's the Texas Hammer.
Oh yeah, you were showing me ads for that guy. He seems like a pretty good dude.
Yeah, if you've
Check out the Texas Hammer. What's his
Jim Adler.
Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. He's got some fun commercials.
He's like the best. If you've been in a truck or accident, contact him at 1-800 I need my money now.
I have no idea. I can't vouch for his services. However, his
I can.
marketing team is spectacular.
I can vouch for his services because my neighbor used him.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
hey, there you go.
And they won. They used. I don't think they ever went to court, but they won. They had settled out. I don't know how that works.
I know next to nothing about like the actual legal system when it comes to being sued or going to court. It seems like a very complicated and scary place to be, though.
It seems like it could happen very fast, or almost like not at all. Because like I'm currently in the process of suing Harley to get her off Asher's thing entirely.
Oh yeah.
And like when we were first going to court, it felt like okay, it's a summons, and then that's set for 2 months from now. Okay, and I think we started this whole thing 2 years ago, like me suing her, and we have yet to go to court over it.
Oh okay.
It just recently got like the counties changed because last time we were in court, she was the custodial parent, and I hate loud cars. I don't get the appeal.
You gotta let everybody know that you're making a bunch of noise, bro.
I guess.
It's your car. Everybody's hooked up. They all hear you. Aren't you cool and tough?
I guess I didn't know he was so cool over there. But the last time she was a custodial parent, so it was where she lived, which was like an hour away from me. But now it's really far from her because she lives in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Being an adult's fun. Being a parent is great.
Grown-up shit can be cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's stressful. But then it can also be really cool. And sometimes you just gotta, you take the stressful stuff and look for the silver linings. I'm trying to think back on the road trip question I asked. I know I've been to, well, I drove all the way here from Ohio. That was a long one.
That's like a
that's
25
probably
hours,
the longest
right?
one. But I used to take road trips with my family to Florida like once a year for trips in like middle school and high school, so I did that a few times. But the trip here was definitely longer.
I love road trips, honestly. I just like driving and tunnel visioning a thought.
Yeah. Just having time to sit and either think or talk or make noise in your car, all kinds of stuff. I don't know, for me it's one of those things where
I like doing road trips by myself.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have to argue about anybody with my music. I can just do whatever. I don't have to argue with somebody if I want to stop at Buc-ee's or not, because we're stopping.
It can be very zen and just like a relaxing thing to do and just kind of just keep moving forward kind of stuff. But at the same time, I find myself, I get super uncomfortable in cars after a long amount of time.
Yeah?
Like I usually don't say anything. I will not be the one to raise my hand, but normally not super long into a trip is when I'm like, man, I wish we could stop and stretch legs for a second because this sucks. But at the same time, I also don't want to waste the time to keep stopping. And it's usually like, I can just bear this and we will get there faster and then I won't have to deal with this at all.
I won't realize how uncomfortable I'll have been till I stand up.
Yeah, the first time standing up after sitting down for a long ass time is always a treat.
How did you like the drive to San Japan? Because I think you did that by yourself that one year.
It was okay.
Yeah?
It wasn't too bad.
I really like just leaving Dallas and going in that direction because, like, the moment you get, like, past Waxahachie, it's just kind of nothing for a long time. And I really like just not having buildings distracting me. Just going.
Just seeing a bunch of flat earth all around you.
Yeah. Well, seeing big things more off in the distance, and just seeing how what is that called? Parallax scrolling.
Oh, okay.
Happening IRL. Like you can see it here, but
Having real world perspective.
yeah, like we can see it here with these big buildings and everything, but because they're not super far off, you're not getting as
Yeah, it's
fun.
not, they don't seem like these big stationary things.
Yeah. Like having a giant mountain in the background with trees and then horses and
Have you ever been like on a
Mountains.
mountain-ass mountain?
no.
Me neither.
The closest is just going to California and just how up and down everything was there.
There was a giant hill in Ohio called Mount Pleasant, but it was not a mountain. I feel like it was, the name definitely makes it sound more impressive than it is. But I walked up that a few times over the course of my life. It wasn't super far away from where I lived.
I know this is going to make no sense after saying I'd love to live in the city, but I'd also love to live in just the mountains.
Nah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I would want a beach place, though I would hate beach storms.
I hate sunshine.
It's less about the sunshine for me and more about the actual like ocean, like crashing waves and stuff. I find that sound very soothing.
See, I can deal with that if I'm up on a mountain overlooking a cove.
Okay. I'm definitely not against the sunshine though. I'm not anti it. It's just the waves are definitely my bigger
I am anti-sunshine.
thing I would want.
It's not a great song or whatever. If, let's say your dad dies and you find out that he was the CEO of the company that owns Kidz Bop or whatever.
Okay.
And now all that power
That
lies
power
on your
falls to
shoulders.
me?
Yes.
I am now Mr.
Not
Mr.
your
Bop.
older siblings, but now it's to you.
Okay. I am the most.
They know that
bopping
you are the
kid.
most hit with the kids.
It's true. I am the trendiest of the
You
sons.
now get to select 12 songs for Kidz Bop to cover.
All right. Okay.
And they don't. This is the cool one where it doesn't have to be anything that's currently on the radio.
It can be any song.
It could
Just
be any song. It
songs
could
for
be
kids.
Grant. You are now the CEO. It could be. Do you want to hear Kidz Bop do an a cappella version of a game OST?
Oh man, I hadn't even thought about that. Well, okay. First things first. I want to hear an all kids version of X Gonna Give It to You.
Okay.
Just because I think that'd be fun. Foreigners, Hot Blooded. basket case. Fear of the Dark from Iron Maiden.
You don't have to list a full 12. I'm loving that you got so much more out than I would have.
I'm trying to think of different songs that it would just be fun to hear a kid vocal track on it. Oh boy. I don't know. I'm kind of running dry here.
Oh man. You see that scar on that building? It's Toys R Us.
Oh, okay. It took me a second. Now I see.
Faded forever, gone.
And then also the theme song to the Full House theme song. Just hearing kids everywhere you go. That one.
So how they do Kidz Bop is that they get the lyrics and everything on the sheet, and then they get to hear it twice.
That's all the kids get.
They get to hear the song twice, and then they just get the backing
Kidz
song.
Bop
Yeah,
jams.
that's how it's gonna work. So are you serious?
Right.
You
Acapella
really don't
Fly to the Bumblebee.
So you don't want them to? You don't want to have them like in front of like a bunch of Japanese anime and stuff, and them just having to read whatever the translated version of Kimuno wo.
Yeah,
Just
all right.
Kimuno wo written in English, and then they have to sing that.
I think it's one of my favorite anime.
Jibun wo. Oh, cool.
Now, you know what? I would want them to sing, give me a Kidz Bop version of Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town.
Ooh. Full version?
Yeah, full version, of course.
Real quick, can I have your opinion on something, Grant? Do you think billboards work?
No.
Okay, do you think doubling down on billboards would work?
Maybe.
Okay, because here's two of the same billboards.
Right next to each other. Huh. Well, you know,
We're talking about it.
You're right. I guess we're discussing the billboards, so now we do know. It does work. We thought about it.
I don't know if I will ever go tackle balding, but it's their ad campaign's working.
Getting the double your.
Do you feel you should be ashamed of picking your nose?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, but here's the thing. You should be ashamed of doing it in public. You are not ashamed that you do it at all.
Even though that I have a piercing and it sometimes gets irritated and I have to scratch it.
Okay, that's not picking your nose.
Okay, but it looks like I am. So I'm just going to consider that picking your nose.
Okay, if that's the case, then if that bothers
Because
you...
if I'm doing this and somebody like in the car next to me sees it, and I notice that they see it, should I feel ashamed? Because I never do.
No, because they're peeping in on your car, and you know what? That's more shameful. This is your private zone. People can't be looking in your windows.
Okay, so I'm scratching my piercing.
A likely excuse. But
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, the piercing gets really up in there, and it's really good when you get one. It gets on your finger. In a Walmart parking lot, walking out to my car, and I noticed the family of 7 is all staring at me.
And you got your finger lodged.
Yeah, I just got my whole finger in there.
And you're asking if you should be ashamed for this?
I guess. I don't know why I'm putting myself in these scenarios anymore.
I'm going to say that that's a shameful. You've brought shame on your family with that one.
Do you remember
Yes.
commercials right before we got good smartphones or anything?
Right.
I remember a bunch of commercials being like, yeah, if you text this number, then somebody will answer your question. Or something. It was these 2 agents, and they'd get a text message like, so how much is this way in this? How many bees are the same weight as a average mattress? And you could get the solution via this text. I never did the service, but I remember seeing commercials for that all over when I was in freshman year.
I do vaguely remember that. It's I remember there being text hotlines you could send stuff to for answers.
They're very much like the Allstate commercials are now. I think it's
Yeah.
Allstate who has the old Star Trek guy on it. Whoever uses him, their commercials are almost the same.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I do remember an ad for a text this number if you've got questions and it'll send you the answer. Standard messaging rates apply. Da 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 da. Did you ever call any of the phone numbers you would hear on commercials for stuff? Like whenever it was ordering things? Like did you ever see
No,
a
but
commercial for something and you're like, that's neat, and you just call the number even though you're a kid and you can't buy it?
No, but I have, as a kid, bought paid to view porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a purposeful choice? Did you know that this was going to be something that was going to be paid for? Was
Yes.
it a stumble on?
Okay, so I had done it before, and I'd gotten in trouble and everything, but like all the stuff I could find was softcore. But I found out there was like a channel that you could pay for to get access for a day, or just subscribe to it or whatever. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna pay for it for a day.
It's like you're like, that's worth it.
Maybe my parents won't see it on the statement.
Did you ever get caught?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But the weird thing was, it wasn't really sex.
Oh no.
It was
adult entertainment.
I don't know how to. Okay.
How old were you, first of all?
I was okay. This specific thing, I was like, I think, 12.
Okay. That's all right. That's around an age where you start.
It was
stuff.
Steve-O.
What?
Like actually Steve-O. I'm not kidding. On a bed, just with a bunch of girls. They weren't fucking or anything, but he was just telling sex stories.
I feel like you were ripped off on
No, I wasn't, because this is gonna sound weird. My friend Logan was there.
Yeah, your buddy Logan.
Because we were
he
just
was into this.
Yeah. Other thing. Did you guys ever watch porn with friends? Or talk
Once.
about porn with friends?
I had a friend who had Cinemax back when it was colloquially known as Skinemax, with all of the softcore cable porn that was on it. And I would go over there probably once a month to hang out with him, but it was totally because I haven't seen boobs in a month and I'm 13, and that's really something I need to see, and the internet doesn't work at my house.
Yeah.
So no, but it was never like okay. So the porn I would watch with my friends as a youth, it never got let's say physical. None of us were ever pleasuring ourselves to this pornography, but we definitely watched it.
Okay.
And it was just this like thing where we kind of were cartoonish about it, in that we were like, oh, we know this is something we're not supposed to be doing, and that's why we are making it sound alluring to each other, but in reality we're all into this, but none of us want to admit it.
Yeah. Did you ever watch porn with a friend and then them go, why the fuck would they do that? To something that you were like, yeah.
None of that. I know.
Okay, wait, going back, yeah, it was fucking Steve-O.
Oh yeah, sorry.
For some reason, but I was super scared that we were gonna get caught, just because frequently when I had friends over, my parents would come check on us. So I was just terrified that my parents were gonna come in on me. So we were only on it for like 2 minutes after paying, I think, $20 for the day. But they were all naked on the bed he was telling sex stories, and he was like, well, she was like this at one point, and he just asked one of the girls to get in the position, and he just gets over there with her.
Okay.
And he doesn't do anything, but it's just like, it was like this, and then this happened. I don't know.
Huh. Well, that sounds like an interesting film. It's unfortunate you had to pay for it.
I know, right? I want to find it now. Steve-O's still in the public eye. He's
See if
a
it'll
fun
awaken
boy.
something in you.
Man, Grant, did you ever watch Jackass or anything?
Barely.
Okay, never mind then. Cause
I totally understood why people enjoyed it, but it was not something I really sought out. I watched more Viva La Bam than I think anything like that.
I watched Bam's Unholy Reunion and then found out about Viva La Bam and watched all of that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of it. But I remember thinking there was an episode where Bam was messing with his dad and he printed hamburgers on all of his clothes, and I thought that was really funny.
That's pretty good. I remember his dad couldn't eat or anything for a whole day. And like he tried ordering a pizza and they said no, so he ordered a pizza from another state or something to have it delivered. Like he was paying a ton of money to get it delivered to this other place. I don't remember. Are we getting a stream here?
Yeah, we probably should do. Is it anyone else here?
Slap thing. Are we gonna have to open it? Do you have your key?
I do, but my hands are all full.
How many people we got? That's not bad. I like it. Chat, how are you liking this?
How fun's it been?
Yeah. With traffic and then that place being closed, we didn't really get to do go places, but
We didn't get to do what we set out to do, but the next time, you will know. They will know us by our completed setup. I don't know what we're...
no, we just end it, I guess.
Yeah.
Bye.
I guess that's much... Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Good night. Good night. Bye.